So for Ruler Lesson 9, we looked at technology, communication, and self-awareness using the mood meter. And just to be truthful with you, we didn't use a whole lot of mood meter for this lesson. We will in the next couple. But what I hope you walk away with is an awareness that technology has changed the way we communicate, and to be aware there's probably a good time to have a communication in person, a time and a place that's appropriate to use technology, and maybe times to use both. So there's a fundamental question. Is it better to communicate in person or using technology? Now, I get it right now. I'm using technology to communicate to you. Also, this mood meter that Ruler provides is a form of technology, and all the various social media that is out there. And again, technology is wonderful in a lot of respects, that you can reach tons of people with just one message, and you can be creative with it, and incorporate memes and emojis and all that stuff. However, technology can be misinterpreted. People can take a text and read it wrong and have a completely different intent and message. Now, in person, obviously you can see the person's body language and hear their tone of voice. But for some people, it's very uncomfortable to interact in person, or it's a tough conversation. So it's not all right or all wrong. It's a choice we make. Do I communicate in person or technology? And I just want to add a little bit of reinforcement to the argument it's better to talk in person. Now, there's a theory called Moravian 738-55 rule. Now, this is not etched in stone. Not everybody agrees with it. But what he is claiming is that 93% of human communication are outside of the words that we use. It's the voice, it's the tone, it's the body language. Now, even if you don't agree on these numbers, I think it's a safe argument that a lot of communication is nonverbal. So when you're meeting with somebody, you can catch those things. So anyway, food for thought in our argument. And then the class is going to brainstorm. Think of real life situations that should be in person, those that are virtual, or those that require both. So when is there a time to speak in person? When is it appropriate to have that conversation? I'm going to be guessing. I don't know if it's true or not. It's the heavy duty conversations, the important ones, the meaningful ones that are probably best in person. Now, virtual, I'm guessing it could be the lighter, the fluffier stuff. For example, when I'm telling my athletes that times of a practice, okay, be there Tuesday at 11. Okay, I don't need to go individually to every one of my athletes and do that. And then, is there a time and a place for both? So again, I don't want to muddy up your thoughts too much. I want you to think for yourself, but think about that. When is it more appropriate to speak in person, virtually, or using both? Now, once you've brainstormed as a class, here are 6 questions for you. Number 1, what is the most common feeling you experience when you communicate both in person and virtual? And hopefully this is revealing about yourself. You can learn where you are more comfortable and where you have your skills, and you can use both of those areas. And hopefully you're skillful in both, or develop the skills to be a good communicator in both realms. Number 2, is it easier or more difficult to express your emotions virtually? That means text, online, etc., than in person, or vice versa. I don't know. Again, you're learning about yourself here. Question 3, how are you able to tell what the other person is feeling? Now, that's a little more challenging virtually than it is in person, but you might have some tips to know how they're feeling. In fact, I think that's the point of emojis, to reinforce that point, okay? Number 4, in your experience, is conflict more common virtually or in person? Why do you think that is? Question 5, how does conflict resolution look different online versus in person? How does it look the same? And number 6, do you prefer virtual or in-person communication, and why? Just to reinforce that point, okay? So once you've gone through those 6 questions, we have our journal entry. And again, it's just a reiteration of what we've already gone through. But this is important, okay? Because knowing this information about yourself can dictate how you communicate with others as you move forward. So buy into that fact. But the journal entry reads, do you find it easier to communicate your emotional experiences virtually or in person? Which do you prefer and why? Which do you believe is healthier for a relationship? One, the other, or a combination of both? Please explain, based upon what you've learned in this lesson, what changes might you make. So anyway, hope you learned something about yourself, and I appreciate you watching.